boys and girls, and welcome to another jam-packed edition of Can't Wait Wednesdays here on the KB Radio Network. This is the show where we preview upcoming releases of the week. Eh, Man, this is a week. This is a week. I don't know how we're going to jam-pack all this good content into this weekend, but good luck to everybody because there's so much coming out and there's something for everybody. There, whether you're into action, you're into drama, you're into documentaries, you're into comedies, you're into comic book movies. I mean, it's there for you. It's there. Animated, it is there this weekend, and man, I can't wait for all of this goodness. It is Father's Day weekend. It is Juneteenth weekend. So happy Father's Day to all the fathers. Happy Juneteenth to everybody. This is a big weekend, and I guess Hollywood said we're gonna dump everything out this weekend. It used to be the 4th of July weekend where we get all these big movies, or television shows or whatever it may be. It was surrounded around the 4th of July weekend. Well, it has gravitated to Juneteenth. And I'm just going to give it to Juneteenth. Some may say, oh, it's Father's Day weekend. Whatever it may be, this is the weekend that everybody decided we're putting out all of our best. And we have a lot coming out. So there's no point dilly-dallying. Let's jump right in. Our first Can't Wait is season 3 premiere. The first 2 seasons of this show, I'm a late bloomer once again for this show. I thought this was going to be something, I don't know, blasphemous or whatever it may be. Which you probably can't say it is in some instances, but I enjoyed it, and I'm saying that as a Christian. And normally I don't watch comedy surrounded around Christianity because it's more of a poke fun at Christianity or whatever, which this show does do, but they do it in such a funny way. I can't help but enjoy it. And I really don't take offense to none of it because a lot of the stuff that they show in this particular television series is true. You really can look at it and say, yeah, I can believe that. And it is the season 3 premiere of The Righteous Gemstones, which stars Danny McBride, John Goodman, Edie Patterson, Adam Devine, Cassidy Freeman, and so many more. Walton Goggins. This is a absolutely hilarious show, and these are from the same creators, if you haven't seen it, as Eastbound and Down, Vice Principals, the Danny McBride shows that popped up on HBO, and this was another slam dunk in my opinion. I'm a huge fan of Danny McBride and normally gravitate to whatever it is he puts out, but like I said, I was a little hesitant with this one and decided to just watch it. I decided to watch it, and me and my wife binged the first season just like in one day, really. I mean, we went through it. It was that good. And the second season was just as good. In case you don't know what the Righteous Gemstones are about, it depicts a family of televangelists and megachurch preachers who are led by the patriarch Eli Gemstone, who is portrayed by John Goodman. Eli and his immature children, Jesse, played by Danny McBride, Judy, played by Edie Patterson, and Calvin, portrayed by Adam Devine, lead lives funded by church donations. It's so much more to that. That premise doesn't do this show any justice. It's about these televangelists and how outlandish their lives are, but at the core of it is really about this dysfunctional family and how they, deal with one another, and how John Goodman's character has to navigate through life, try to spread God's word with these dysfunctional children that he have, and it's it's such a joy to watch. It is funny, it is crude, it is very vulgar, but it's hilarious. If you haven't checked out the Righteous Gemstones, go check out the past 2 seasons on Max, and then get all caught up and prepare yourself for season 3 of the Righteous Gemstones, dropping on HBO and Max this Sunday, June the 18th. Our next Can't Wait drops on Monday. Yeah, we're going over to Monday. And for the first time, we're going to have a dual simulcast on CNN and the OWN network. And this is the Juneteenth, a global celebration for freedom. And it will air on CNN and OWN this Monday, June the 19th at 7 Central, 8 Eastern. And we all know that this is Juneteenth weekend. I believe Juneteenth is on Monday. And so this is going to be a live concert, and that will feature the talents of Nigel, Kurt Franklin, SWV, Jodeci, The Roots. It's going to be a jam-packed concert to celebrate this holiday that is fresh on the docket. I think we're 2 to 3 years into this holiday. It's not new. It's something that has been celebrated for well over 100 years in the Black community, but it finally became an official holiday, I think in 2020. So we finally get the celebration of Juneteenth. And in case you don't know what Juneteenth represents, it is the day where slavery in America officially came to an end 158 years ago. So this is worth celebrating the end of that tyranny, even though, you got to get on a soapbox for a second, even though there is still forms of slavery going on. We're not on master's plantation. So we are going to celebrate this day. Tune in to CNN, the OWN network, on Monday, June the 19th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. Juneteenth, a global celebration for freedom. Moving back a day, on Sunday, June the 18th, Father's Day, we have a spinoff of a very popular show that I was a huge fan of the first few seasons, and I kind of just drifted off because it lost quality, in my humble opinion. But I am a fan of this property, and so I'm willing to give this new show a chance, and don't have to wait long. This Sunday on AMC, we get The Walking Dead, Dead City. And this is an upcoming American post-apocalyptic horror drama which stars Lauren Cohen, who portrays Maggie on the show, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who reprises his role as Negan from The Walking Dead. These two characters have started their own show, and the series follows Maggie and Negan traveling into a post-apocalyptic Manhattan, cut off from the mainland in search of Maggie's kidnapped son, Herschel. The crumbling city is filled with the dead and denizens who have made New York City their own world, full of anarchy, danger, beauty, and terror. I'm looking forward to this. I'm willing to give this a shot because, as I said before, I was a huge fan of The Walking Dead until I'm trying to think of what season it was. I think it was right after Negan made his appearance. After Negan showed up, it kind of went downhill for me. And it wasn't Negan's fault. It wasn't Jeffrey Dean Morgan's fault. It just, at that point, I felt it reached a crescendo. Everything else just seemed silly. The fake out deaths that they were doing, it got kind of ridiculous with the main show. But I know it was still popular. I know it was still had its fans, which I understand. I just wasn't ready to commit to watching it all the way through, but I I did enjoy what I did, and I do enjoy these two characters and the chemistry that they have with one another. These are two exceptionally talented performers, so I am excited to see where we go with this. You know, I'm willing to give it a shot the first 2 or 3 episodes, see if it's worth latching on to, getting back into the Walking Dead universe. So this Sunday on AMC, we get the spinoff to the popular series The Walking Dead, The Walking Dead Dead City. Over on Disney Plus this Friday, this is a documentary that I am excited for, and it really, I didn't expect this, but I'm I'm getting kind of emotional thinking about it because this documentary is focused on somebody who has been a big part of my life, my entire life. And not just mine, but if you ever picked up a comic book, if you ever watched a comic book movie, a superhero movie, anytime, any point in your life, this man touched you in some type of way. Uh, and it is none other than, of course, the great Stan Lee. And this documentary is entitled Stan Lee. And we're getting this hour and 30-minute movie basically going over his life and what he did throughout his life as far as creating these comic book characters, uh, uh, being the head of Marvel for all those years, uh, just everything. And I'm so excited to see how they tell this story. Stan Lee isn't just somebody who cameoed throughout the MCU, his little cameos in every movie up to his passing a few years ago. No, it was so much more to Stan Lee, and I can't wait. 100 years of dreaming, 100 years of creating, 100 years of Stan Lee. Premieres on Disney Plus this Friday, June the 16th. Speaking of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and their impact on people, there's one character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe who is universally loved, I believe, and that is none other than Thor. And the reason he's so universally loved is because of the performance of Chris Hemsworth. And Chris Hemsworth is jumping into this action franchise that I didn't think would become a franchise, but here we are for the sequel to the next Netflix film, Extraction, which came out a couple of years ago, Extraction 2. And I know a lot of people scratching their heads. If you watched Extraction, the end of that film, you're like, how are we getting a part two? I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't seen Extraction, but well, I guess I have to spoil it because the premise of the film tells you what it is. Uh, his character died at the end, allegedly, but the premise to Extraction 2, after being presumed dead for 9 months, Tyler Reich is assigned back by a black ops mercenary to rescue a rootless gangster's family from the prison where they are being held. Um, I don't know if anybody ever dove into that movie. Extraction was so exciting to me. I watched that movie countless times, and it was just exciting to watch. I don't know what it was about that film. And to see this character come back, and that's the reason why the character is coming back, because the film was so good, and I think it was a hit, obviously for Netflix. Like, we got to bring him back. We got to bring him back. And Chris Hemsworth, outside of the MCU, outside of his character Thor, has not really done anything of merit, with all due respect. It is not him. I think it's just the projects. He hasn't had a real quote unquote hit film outside of the MCU. But Extraction, it just fits him. That character of Reich fits him. And I'm excited to see this. This film is directed by Sam Hargrave, who directed the first one, but that was his first film. He is a stunt coordinator. He's a stunt performer. And so for him to get behind the camera and I guess you could say, organize these, choreograph these stunts, and with the camera work and these long takes with this action going on. That's what made that movie so awesome to watch. I mean, the stunts in that film, and it's practical. And I'm a huge, if you listen to the show long enough, you know I am a huge fan of practical effects. CGI has its place, but if you can do it in camera, sign me up. And a lot of the action that took place in that film was actual stunt performers performing these stunts that would kill an average man, but they pulled it off and pulled it off beautifully. So I'm super excited to see how they're gonna amp it up to 11 this go around with Extraction 2, which drops on Netflix this Friday, June the 16th. Also on June the 16th, we have a film, a horror comedy that came out of nowhere, I must say. I didn't know much about this movie until I saw the trailer. And when I saw the trailer, I will take my money because it looked so funny. I'm not gonna go too far into it because I've already seen it. Matter of fact, the review for it is already on the KB Radio Network. So if you want to listen to my review of The Blackening, which drops in theaters this Friday, June the 16th, you can check it out. Just look for the past episodes and you will see it. But in case you don't know what The Blackening is all about, it is a horror comedy directed by Tim Story, and it tells the story of the trope throughout horror films where the African American character is often the first to die in horror movies by placing all black characters in this cabin in the woods where they have to confront a mass killer who demands that they rank their degree of blackness so they can determine the correct order in which they die. And so this is a very funny film. I don't know what else to say without going back into it, but just go back, listen to the review, and make up your own mind to check out The Blackening, which drops this Friday in theaters, June the 16th. Also, on June the 16th, we have a Pixar film, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, an animated romantic comedy from the good folks over there in Disney, and it is entitled Elemental. And Elemental is the premise of it: in a city where fire, water, earth, and air residents live together, a fiery young woman and a go with the flow guy are about to discover something elemental. How much they actually have in common. This looks like a very cute film. And it's Pixar. It's Pixar. How can you not love a Pixar film? Name me one Pixar film that was bad. I'll wait. I really, there's no bad Pixar film. I'm excited for this. This looks very cute, very funny in points, and the animation looks fairly put together, very well put together. So I'm excited for this. Elemental drops in theaters this Friday, June the 16th. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, whew, we have reached our final can't wait of this week. And unless you've been living under a rock, unless you've been locked up on the moon somewhere and you don't know what's going on planet Earth this weekend, what's all coming out this weekend, if we don't have enough already, there's one that out trumps everything that I just talked about. It's something that me personally, just me, I can't speak for everybody, but me personally, I've been waiting on this film my entire life. And there's no cap. I'm saying the real. I am a huge comic book fan, and I am a huge fan of this character. And I'm even a huger fan of one of the characters that he is fighting alongside of. Oh my God, we are finally here. After multiple pushbacks, after multiple delays, we are finally getting The Flash. The Flash drops in theaters this Friday, June the 16th. We were supposed to get this movie 2 years ago, and it got reassigned to a date last year. I think it was around November, maybe, that the film was supposed to come out, and then that got pushed back, and they settled on this date. And I really, at that point, I told myself, if they push this back again, I'm just done with it. This movie is never going to come out. And we're they didn't move. Thank God we're getting it. Some critics have already seen it. Actually, they've seen it like months ago, and they've already said, "Oh, this is the greatest thing ever." And so I'm, I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. But the premise of The Flash goes as this: Barry Allen, aka The Flash, travels back in time to prevent his mother's death, which traps him in an alternate reality without metahumans. Barry enlists the help of his younger self, an older Batman, and the Kryptonian cast-off Supergirl in order to save this world from the restored General Zod and return to his rightful universe. My God. I can't express to you how excited I am to finally be able to walk into a theater and sit down and keep my eyes open with I don't know, paper clips or glue or whatever to watch this film. Uh, Ezra Miller reprises his role as Barry Allen, the Flash. We have Sasha Calle as Supergirl. Michael Shannon reprises his role as General Zod from The Man of Steel from 2013. You have Ron Livingston as Henry Allen, Barry's father. You also, in this film, have Ben Affleck reprising his role as Bruce Wayne, aka Batman. I'm going by what I read. This is his last go around as Batman, and it's kind of sad. I'm kind of saddened by that because I enjoyed Ben Affleck as Batman, but we're not getting just one Batman in this movie. We're getting two, and not just anyone. No, not Christian Bale, not Val Kilmer, and definitely not George Clooney. We're getting the OG. Arguably, debatably, the best Batman to ever grace the silver screen. None other than Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne, Batman. I am, just for that alone, I'm going. Just for that. Something that I didn't expect to see no more in my lifetime. And I'm pretty sure nobody expected to see in their lifetime Michael Keaton returning as Batman. I am all in. I am so excited for this movie. It has promised us a lot of cameos, a lot of action, a lot of comedy. I am super excited. I don't know what else to say other than The Flash speeds into the theaters this Friday, June the 16th. Oh man, what a weekend. We have so much this weekend. Let's go back through them. We have The Righteous Gemstones, which drops on HBO Max and HBO and Max this Sunday, June the 18th. We have the Juneteenth, a global celebration of freedom, which will be presented on CNN and the OWN network this Monday, June the 19th at 7 o'clock Central. We also have this Sunday, The Walking Dead, Dead City, dropping on AMC, June the 18th. We have Stan Lee, the documentary, dropping on Disney Plus this Friday, June the 16th. On Netflix, you have the sequel to Extraction 2, which stars Chris Hemsworth, June the 16th. The Blackening. Every time I think about it, I start laughing. listen to my review. Anyways, it drops in theaters this Friday, June the 16th. Also in theaters this Friday, June the 16th, you have Elemental and the long-awaited, long-delayed superhero film, The Flash. Man, I'm gonna be broke. I'm about to lose all my money this weekend, but it's money well spent. Can't wait for all of these to drop on television in the theaters. This is going to be a fun weekend to watch all of this content. It's a 3-day weekend, so there's no excuses. You have time. Carve out some time to watch a few, if not all, of these great new pieces of content coming out this weekend. Everybody, I would love to know which one of these movies or television shows are you excited for? And I want to know what else you're doing this weekend. It's a 3-day weekend. It's Father's Day weekend. It's Juneteenth. What all are you doing? Are you barbecuing, having some cookouts, taking the dad out to go see one of these movies, or you already bought your pack of socks for your father? I want to know what all are you doing this weekend. You can email the show kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also look me up on Twitter at KB Radio Network, and on other social media platforms, just look up the KB Radio Network. Don't forget about the KB Radio Network on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel and like this video. Speaking of liking, don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever it is you are currently listening to Can't Wait Wednesdays here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me today. Enjoy your Juneteenth weekend, your Father's Day weekend, and all of these films. Want you all to know that I love you. Continue to love one another. And until we speak again, you all be blessed.